For a long time, the ultimate proof you had made it in America was a massive 5-bedroom home at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac. Builders packed these houses with 2-story entryways, cavernous formal dining rooms, and acres of granite to signal a specific level of suburban success. But the people who bought these properties 20 years ago are now entering their late 70s and 80s. They have empty guest rooms they never use, and they need to cash out to fund their retirement and healthcare. This chart highlights the demographic logjam. Millennials and Gen Z now form the dominant block of homebuyers, but their lifestyle is completely different. They get married later, have smaller families, and actively prefer efficient sanctuary spaces over sprawling homes. With few young buyers willing to take over these properties, the homes sit on the market for months. The resulting price cuts and mounting maintenance costs are starting to turn these former assets into holes in the owner's balance sheets. The structural problem comes down to how these neighborhoods were created. During the pre-2008 housing bubble, developers relied on fast food assembly line logic to mass-produce oversized homes as quickly as possible. To maximize profit margins while inflating the square footage, builders utilized cheap framing and slapped on faux stone veneers to create an illusion of custom architecture. Because of those shortcuts, properties constructed in the late 90s and early 2000s are hitting a 20-year structural expiration date right now. The cheap materials are failing all at once. You can see the problem in the design itself. Builders stacked excessive, overlapping roof lines to make the exterior look grand, which inevitably creates complex drainage choke points and massive leaks. The exterior walls suffer from the same cost-cutting. Many of these homes use cheap synthetic stucco that cracks easily over time. Once water gets behind that thin layer, the foam insulation traps moisture and literally rots the house from the inside out. Purchasing one of these homes requires an immediate $50,000 cash reserve to replace these failing materials before the first mortgage payment is even due. Even if the structure holds up, the daily carrying costs are brutal. Heating and cooling 4,000 square feet of vaulted, uninsulated airspace pushes monthly utility bills into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This chart shows the exact cost of the interest rate trap. Comparing a $600,000 mortgage from the easy money era to today's rates, the payment practically doubles. And to make the math worse, insurance companies are hiking premiums or dropping coverage entirely on these aging properties because rebuilding materials have become so expensive. And then there is the geography problem. Developers originally placed these subdivisions in deep exurbs, an hour or two away from major city centers, simply because the acreage was cheap. Modern professionals actively avoid these commutes. With the rise of hybrid work, younger buyers prioritize neighborhood connectivity. They want the local cafe or a park within a short walk, rather than living on an isolated, car-dependent street. Combine a structurally flawed building, deep geographic isolation, and crippling monthly carrying costs, purchasing one of these estates becomes a mathematically irrational decision for a modern buyer. The glut of empty megahouses is becoming such a drain on local tax bases that desperate municipalities are now carving them up into multifamily subdivisions or short-term rentals just to keep the neighborhoods alive. Value today centers on efficiency, geographic flexibility, and a resilient lifestyle. These suburban palaces were built during a period of record low energy costs and loose credit. Today, as those conditions disappear, the physical structures are decaying both physically and financially. As the economic reality catches up with them, their values will continue to fall. Would you ever buy a 2000s McMansion if the price dropped low enough? Or is the maintenance headache simply not worth it? Let me know your thoughts below. Hit the like button if this video changed your perspective, and subscribe for more deep dives.